I've done some before on different tools that can be used, but today I'm going to be showing this spreadsheet that I found that's pretty cool. So welcome everybody to another one of these brief Teams talks. Today I'm going to talk about a spreadsheet that has been developed by it's kind of a librarian. What's the word I'm looking for? So an independent contractor developed this for use, but it's cool because it's under the Creative Commons license. And so I've done some talks before about copyright issues, and this is available under Creative Commons. You get free to use it, free to modify it, free to use it for non-commercial use. Just make attribution if you're going to use it in a project. The one thing that it does, there's actually a link to the Creative Commons license here, and there's a specific attribution non-commercial share alike license. So if you can make changes to this, you're free to do that, but they just ask that if you make changes, that you save that version and make it available for free under the Creative Commons license with other users that might want to use it. But I'm going to be talking about how you can use this tool as a screening tool for articles if you're doing something like a systematic review. What's cool about this particular resource is it's free, like I said. It's also built for just one or two people. So if you're just doing one yourself, which I'm not sure, I'm kind of interested in that myself, but if you have a small group, if it's just the two of you, you can use this. It's kind of how it's built to compare articles that you're screening for inclusion or exclusion from a project. You can see there's modifications here that have been made to this document going back from 2014. But just to kind of give you an overarching view, if you've done systematic reviews before, or if not, then a big thing that you're going to want to focus on is inclusion and exclusion criteria. You can see this sheet, this whole workbook was kind of designed for the idea that there would be two screeners, and it makes available 15 reasons that you can use for exclusion. It could be date range if it's too old, or some part of the protocol doesn't match what your project is, but you can list up to 15 reasons here. What's kind of cool about this sheet is that there are like relative formulas built into this, where as you're entering like these total number of, for example, how many articles are screened out for these exclusion reasons, it keeps track of that. And it'll actually track both screeners' exclusion or inclusion of different titles and abstracts. And this is something I'm glad Dr. Pelletier is here, because it's something I'm not super familiar with regard to statistics, but it will actually calculate your interrelater reliability. So basically how often your two screeners are agreeing with each other and how often they are disagreeing, because you'll see here these formulas are built for whether or not screeners say something is maybe include or definitely exclude. It'll calculate that interrelater reliability, which is kind of cool. It's new to me, but probably Dr. Pelletier knows more about the statistics of that. But you can see that it's got columns built for total number of no's by reason. What's cool is as you fill this out in your project, it'll automatically populate relative cells. So you can see we've got our exclusion reasons here, and under here the tab at the bottom of the workbook is a place to centrally put all of your titles and abstracts. It's not really built for putting full text in, so that's not something. There are tools that can do that. Will keep full text of all of your articles, but this is just for titles and abstracts, and you probably want to put your DOI here for whatever your title and your digital object identifier, which is unique to all papers that you're going to find, or citations that you might want to use. But this is kind of like a central place for the two screeners to put all of their titles and abstracts. And this is the tab they built for the abstract. It's kind of like the scorecard. So like this is the meat and potatoes of actually screening the articles. So here is columns you'll see for your DOI, your title and abstract, and it's got two different columns, well, more than two columns, but one section built for screener number one and one section built for screener number two. And they've pre-built all these with conditional formatting, you know, drop down menus for these cells, where I can click on this and say I want to exclude it, or maybe, or if I guess if I leave it blank, then I'm accepting it. I'm including that one. But again, I can choose that no or maybe. And as I fill out this no or maybe, and as screener 2 fills out their no or maybe, it's going to populate this. You can use that to populate this formula down here that I was talking about. That's kind of new to me, so but it's a pretty cool tool. It looks pretty powerful. But you can put everything in here from whether you're excluding it. It pre-populates. Remember we saw those list of all the different, it only goes up to 11, but there's 15, up to 15, where you can define your reasons and you can choose from those reasons for why you want to exclude it. There's a drop down for whether you want to include this for the background of your systematic review or part of the actual discussion, or if maybe we want to exclude it, but we want to include it for the next project, you can actually choose for next paper to keep track of it that way. This, I'm not really sure what kind of disagreement would cause this column to be yellow, but basically the way the sheet is built is that if this column ends up yellow, something's not right with how you've entered your title and abstract that you're screening here. So that would kind of be an indicator you need to check on it. But we can see how both of this allows for both of our screeners to go through all our titles and abstracts, and it's like the scorecard for how you keep track of that. Now, something else that's cool about this spreadsheet is if you've done systematic reviews or read them, you've probably heard of the Prisma guideline or the Prisma flowchart, which is kind of a standard guideline in building systematic reviews and writing systematic reviews. There's actually a link. I think I linked to it. Yeah, so there's a Prisma flow diagram. There's different kinds. There's ones for systematic reviews, which includes searches of databases and registers only. There's one that includes, it's a flowchart for databases, registers, and sources. I mean, you can look through these yourself, but basically, actually, I already opened this. I want you to see. This is something that can be really a good tool to include in your systematic reviews. That's going to show you your sample size of databases, registers, how many records didn't make it even to screening. Because if you're going to say, I don't want any articles or papers older than 5 years, you're going to remove those before you even screen. How many you're in for how many papers were screened, how many were excluded. I don't have to read this to you. You see it's pretty simple, but this is a really good tool. Pretty standard tool to use for systematic reviews. And what's cool about our spreadsheet is that because of all these conditional formatting and relative cells, as you fill out your worksheet, your different sheets in your project here, it's going to keep track of how many total number of titles and citations, total number of abstracts screened, and how many need to be reviewed. And it actually keeps track of your reasons over here too for how, so it'll keep track of how many articles were screened or excluded per reason that you've defined for that your exclusion criteria that you want to use. And so this is really simple. I've shared this with Dr. Hogerl a while ago. He was working on something with a student. What's cool about this is that it's free. It's under Creative Commons, so you can feel free to use it. You can modify it however you want. As long as you make attribution and then share your modified version afterwards. It's totally free for non-commercial use. There are some, in looking at systematic review stuff and going to webinars, there's different tools. I've done some of these sessions on some of those tools that are available. This is just one that looks like it's pretty cool for just 1 or 2 people doing a systematic review paper together. In the past, I've done and I can share that spreadsheet. Either I'm thinking of either putting it in Dropbox, or if anybody just wants it, I could email it out to the faculty that want it if they're interested in it. In the past, other tools I've shown that you can use if you don't want to use the spreadsheet are this SR Accelerator tool, which is built by Bond University. I think I specifically have shown like Polyglot Search, which is a tool of this particular systematic review project tool that will actually translate your different database advanced searches to be into different formats for whichever database you're searching, which is kind of cool. And this has like built-in word frequency, how many times you see words. It's got a methods wizard. I'm not going to go through this. I've done videos on this before, but if you don't want to use the spreadsheet, I just want to say this is available for free as well. I also have in the past looked with Dr. Hogerl at this resource called Cadema or Cadma. I've never really known exactly how you're supposed to pronounce that, but these are some big tools available for doing systematic review projects in place of the spreadsheet if you didn't want to use that. Some of them are free, some of them are very expensive. When I've attended talks on different systematic review projects at other medical libraries. Distiller SR is a big one. But it costs money. It actually tells you down here. The reason I wanted to pull this up is because it shows which features are included in different projects if you didn't want to use the spreadsheet, and which ones are free and which ones are subscription. I'm not familiar with Ray-Ban. I know Covidence is a very popular one, and the cool thing about that is that it includes that full text like our spreadsheet doesn't really do. I haven't really looked much at Rayon or this EPPI reviewer. I've looked at Cadma. Cadma is, these are subscription. Cadma is free, but there's a limit to like how much of the functionality you can use before you have to pay for it. So I do want to mention that. And then again, Distiller SR is another one. But mostly what I wanted to show you today was just these tools that are available, specifically this spreadsheet that a librarian built for doing systematic review project with a pretty small team. It's pretty cool. There's other options available. I'm happy to send this to anybody that might want it. I'm going to see a way out. Maybe I can put it on the LibGuide or something. I can share this, upload the file and share it on the research guide if people want to get to it that way. But as always, this is recorded, so I'm going to put it up on the research guide for anybody that wants to watch it later. And anybody that's interested in this, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to talk about it and hopefully get some more interest in doing these kinds of projects. So thank you guys for your time. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Rob. You too, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Rob.